Everyone, Ken Scott, Senior, U.S. Immigration Law Intelligence Analyst with W U.S. Entry Waiver Services.com, and we resolve all USA border crossing issues. So guys, I got inspired by this video and I'm smiling today because, well, today is just a good day. I don't want to go into why it's a good day just yet. Just some things that are coming down the pipeline very soon. I will put it here on YouTube, and you guys will, I don't know, you guys might be impressed, you may not, who knows. But I don't want to touch upon that too much for the moment. Anyway, so the topic of today's, I forgot to, I'm supposed to say W U.S. Entry Waiver Services.com. I don't know if I said that or not. But anyway, yeah, we do resolve all USA border crossing issues. And we're at 888-908-3841 or 604-562-8140. So guys, today's video, we look at the calendar here. And that's the calendar, if anyone cares. Today's video is going to be on, U.S. waivers, inadmissibility issues, but regarding criminality and non-criminality. So guys, you guys know we always strive to ensure that we provide, I don't know, interesting content that can help you guys sort out your problems. And if it helps you guys even not need our services, we're totally fine with that. And the reason why is because of the fact that we care more for people than profits. You know, it is what it is. The discount waiver companies like Batman's, Pardons and Waivers, and the other one, and the quote unquote lawyers, they just want to suck your money dry from you and then leave you high and dry. And if you guys want that, I mean, who am I to say don't do it? But if you want to deal with someone or an organization that has a 99% success rate, someone or people who used to work for the American system, law enforcement, federal officer, and federal government, and all those agencies, well, then you came to the right place, because we have the internal knowledge on how to win these border cases. That's the difference. You got to know how the system works. You got to know how these agencies think. You got to have people at these agencies, so to speak, who can keep you updated or, you know, briefed on the current changes and all that good stuff, yada, yada. But I won't bore you guys with that. Anyway, waivers, criminality and non-criminality. So when I say waivers, I mean the I-182 non-immigrant waivers, just to let you guys know. I'm not talking about 601s or the other waivers, yada, yada. Try to change the background a bit today. You guys already know that photo there, or that portrait, but we're not going to use that today. Then we're going to switch it up. Okay. Now, you could need a waiver for things that are non-criminality. You know, stuff like overstays, false statements. I'm trying to think what else. For now, let's just leave it at those two things: overstays and false statements. You might say, well, Ken, I already know that. Yeah, but did you know that quite often CBP can be harder on non-criminality than they are on criminality? People are like, what? I said, yeah. So, like, for example, we've got a gentleman. He's got 25 convictions for armed robbery, and he got his waiver. It took 5 weeks. He's good to go. We have another client. This person, I don't want to say male or female, has no convictions whatsoever, but their offense was basically an overstay and some things related to that. They are giving this person a hard time. And I told this person, I said, you would have been better off if you hit a liquor store or put on your ski mask, and, you know, if you went into a bank and said, empty all the tills, that we could have got cleared a lot quicker. And she's flabbergasted like I just said, this person's flabbergasted like all the other people, because they think because it's no criminality or non-criminality, they think they get approved quicker and faster. That's not the case at all. It's definitely not the case. The thing is, see, this is where it gets tricky, because we know the complete answers, but discount waiver companies, they always peruse our content to try to use things to keep their lights on and doors open. So I'm trying to figure out how to give this content without giving them anything they can use. This one is going to be tough because the criminality they view as a certain kind of way. The non-criminality, they view a different kind of way. So it really depends upon the particulars of your circumstance, but generally speaking, they can be harder at times on the non-criminality. And it's reasons why. And I won't go into those reasons why, because if I do, it's going to tip off the discount waiver companies and they can reverse engineer some techniques and keep the lights on. So, I mean, our lights are on if you guys care. That's one light. There. See, our lights are on. How can I give out this content without tipping them off? This is a really good one. Let's say you have an offense. Okay, here we go. Let's say you have an offense for an overstay. So an overstay, there is a ban. The ban is for a certain period of time. There's certain other things that go along with the ban, or bans, what I should say. If you try to cross the border to enter USA, they could give you a ban, which is separate from the ban that you already have for the overstay. I can say it like that. And the thing is, all that stuff has to be addressed a certain kind of way. You just can't grab a form, approve. That's just beyond stupid. It will not work, people. It doesn't work. And the thing is, we had a few people who they cheaped out, went to discount waiver companies. So now we're trying to turn their files around. And it's so much work, guys, in all honesty. It's gotten to the point now, what we do is when we turn those cases around, we can actually make more on turning the cases around that are denied than some of the small fish cases, which is why we're shying away from the small fish cases. But getting back to the topic, criminality, non-criminality. Now, if it's criminality, that has to be done or processed a certain kind of way. Certain criteria CBP looks for in the criminality cases. And not every conviction requires a waiver. And having said that, you could talk yourself into needing a waiver based upon your own voluntary admission at a border regarding criminality or non-criminality. So let's say if you were charged with B&E, if you go down to that border, and if you decide, and again, we're not giving you guys any kind of advice, you do what you want, it's your choice. But if you go down to that border, you decide to have diarrhea of the mouth, and then what's going to happen is you're going to talk yourself into needing a waiver based upon your admission. What we will say is that it is written in the code there that essentially I'm trying to put this in simple terms, but any voluntary admission that you give can and will be used against you. So if you were charged with B&E, let's say, but it was dismissed, but then you go down to the border and the guard says, oh, well, what happened with the burglary that you did? What did you steal? You say, oh, well, I got a couple of boom boxes. I got an air conditioner, and I got I don't know, a toaster oven. So by you voluntarily admitting that you broke into Walmart, which I don't know how you could, but you broke into Walmart and you stole those items, you now need a waiver based upon your voluntary admission, because a voluntary admission is the same as a conviction as far as CBP is concerned. So that's still the criminality area, but I want you guys to realize and understand that you'll still need a waiver even if you were not convicted, depending upon the circumstances. I can't overemphasize that. It depends upon the particular circumstances. Now, we do have a 99% success rate, so for us, it's different. I mean, we can pretty much turn anything around for the most part. The child molestation seems to be the hardest, though. But the other stuff, for the most part, we can turn it around. But that's criminality. If the border feels you need a waiver for criminality, then of course you got to process it and prepare it, yada yada. Some things that go along with the prep work that I won't get into. Things they look for. If they don't get the things, the present it to them in the right kind of way and in the way they want, you will get denied. And what we're noticing is the discount waiver companies, they don't seem to understand how to present this material, and they have trouble keeping up with the changes, which is fine, it's good. Because there's some things that change that CBP will not tell you. I can find out personally. But I don't want, let's just say I can find out personally. I'll leave it at that. Sometimes these videos are so hard because the thing is, I'm very talkative. I want to just go on and on and on, but I don't want to say the wrong thing that's going to cause the discount waiver companies to make a note, say, okay, we can use that, we can use that. So everything I've said here is just basic, yada yada. But for non-criminality, you guys really have to be careful. You really have to be aware. And really, with the waiver application in general, you have to be careful because the questions are written in a certain way that they try to elicit a response from you, where they can use that response against you. And once that happens, then you're inadmissible. Another good example, I'm trying to think here. I talked about the 5-year bans. You get a 5-year ban. Well, I don't want to talk about that because that'll tip it as well. I don't even say that. That'll tip the head as well. This is a tough video to make. This one's really, really tough. But what I can say is if you say the wrong thing at that port of entry, then you can and will talk yourself into being deemed inadmissible and denied entry. You may or may not get a 5-year ban, which it could be 5-year ban, it could be 10-year ban, it could be yada yada. Well, speaking of bans, I want to also touch upon that. A lot of times when you have these 5-year bans, people think that, okay, 5 years, I'm done. That's not necessarily the case, because it really depends upon the particulars behind your circumstances. Because some of the 5-year bans are based upon your prior behavior that you have exhibited on a previous occasion that has deemed you inadmissible. Now, that behavior could be something that makes you inadmissible for life or only for the 5 years. So if you get the 5-year ban where after 5 years the ban is up, doesn't necessarily mean you're good to go after those 5 years to enter. You may not necessarily need a waiver, but the behavior that you exhibited prior to getting the ban that they've deemed has made you inadmissible, that behavior has to be rectified prior to your entry. And if you don't do that, you try to enter, then you could talk yourself into another ban or even a lifetime ban. So it's not cut and dry. And the thing is, the people who come to us, they get it. We go over things in great detail with them. They understand it, so then it's fine. But the people who try to let's say cheap out, so to speak, or don't have the money, and then they get screwed over by Batman's pardons and waivers or some of these lawyers, then they come to us, we have to turn it around. It's just a lot more work. So I think I'm going to leave this video. I'm going to probably end it right here because there's not much more I can really say on this topic. This is so hard to protect. I know what I want to say, but I just can't say it. I can't think of a way to actually present this material where you guys helpful. Best I can say though, if you guys come in for a consultation and we'll talk about it in detail, and then based upon what you have obtained from us, you can kind of go from there. So if nothing else, this video should inspire you to give us a show at 888-908-3841 or 604-562-8140. And then if you come in for a consultation, we'll go over everything in great detail. And then based upon that, we can kind of go to the next level. You guys may not even need a waiver because not every conviction requires a waiver. And the thing is, discount waiver companies, they won't tell you that, or they don't know which ones actually are. I was going to tell you about a situation, but maybe that situation I'll hold off to as well. Anyway, I babbled long enough here. So Ken Scott Sr., U.S. Immigration Law Intelligence Analyst with www.usentryWaiverServices.com. And again, that's 888-908-3841 or 604-562-8140. And in the words of my Vulcan colleague, live long and prosper.